Well, I've just had an interesting conversation on one of my posts regarding the Venus Project. And like always, they resort into the name calling that you'll argue, or you've got an ego, or, they just cannot hang on to a conversation. And what they tend to accuse you of while you're trying to make your point of view heard is actually what's inside them. If they accuse me of having a huge ego, it's them who has the ego, not me. I have a point of view that I'm trying to communicate, and you have a very limited belief system happening. Basically, from my perspective, is they totally agree they can't solve all problems. And while they can't solve all problems and have no wish, want, and desire to solve all problems, the limited belief you can't please everyone, that means you are going to be the one they don't give a shit about. That means you are the one that's not going to have your point of view heard. And, ultimately it's going to kill you. And it's no different than the systems we have now. They blog you down with so much information. They want you to read and read and read and read and read. And after you read and you have a perspective, they call you names. And, the reading is just to keep you busy. And there's a lot of really good information in there. The point is that they're not following their own rules. They don't even live by the same mindset that they say this is what's going to be in our future. They think they need to build a building and then it'll magically happen. And it's like, no, believe your own shit, communicate with people based on your own logic that you're using. And if you can't do that now, you won't be able to develop a system. This is no different than our current political system. They give you everything you want to hear, and they never follow through. And politicians, traditionally, we think, don't look at the way I behave in my life, look at what I can do for my country. It's like we don't think for a second that your morals, your belief systems, the way you conduct your life affects the way you're going to handle the position that you want to get started. So basically, from my perspective, this project is a complete waste of time. They're going by the philosophy that it won't unfold until the whole planet sort of is aware of it and is on board of it. That will never happen because we're all going to be aware of it, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have a lot of problems with it, and it will never unfold as long as a lot of people have a lot of problems with it. So it's like we have nothing to worry about, because the way they're going about it is saying that it'll unfold once it's built. Once everybody knows about it, it will get built, and it'll never get built because a lot of people have problems. So they've got this business rule that's going to prevent it from ever happening. They cannot comprehend their own frequently asked questions. And they resort to name calling and blocking if you do have a point of view. And it's shown in my post. What I will say is they do have a very limited belief system. If they can open up their minds to new sciences, a new way of thinking, it will unfold this project faster. Ego is definitely playing a huge role in it. They think this is the way it's got to be. It's my way or no way. And that's incorrect. It's got to be everybody's way. We also need to learn how to solve problems. There are some excellent tools. Dr. Vernon Wolfe has a concept of holodynamics, which I think is very much in alignment. But Dr. Wolfe, again, has a massive ego. He doesn't believe his own shit. He's not solving his own problems, even though he created a tool that solves every problem known to the human experience. I've studied psychology, biology, neurology, information theory, holodynamics. I'm ex-computer programmer. The computer is a reflection of how the brain works. I've also dealing with human experience. I've researched this science to prove the things that I've experienced in my own life. if this is possible, then why is it possible, and can I repeat it? Okay, so if I know how to repeat it, and I have repeated it in my own life, I know it's possible. Now, to communicate how it's possible, it seems humanity needs science and proof, scientific proof over a long period of time. Well, I researched it. I researched it out. Holodynamics explains a hell of a lot. Doesn't identify the unknown problem, but there's a way of solving that too. So, in my point of view, from everything I've researched, I think the project is excellent. But they're very, very busy on sending information and not receiving it. And until they're able to receive information from everybody and able to overcome every problem everybody has, this project is a waste of your time. I also think if you can't get a round table, I'd be a part of that round table with this fresco and Dr. Vernon Wolf. And if all three of us can get rid of our egos, there's more than enough tools, more than enough science between all three of us to unfold something a lot better. And if something was a lot better, guess what? Everybody would be in agreement with it. It's not something that you need to program anybody with. It's, it would be coming from you, and we'd be having good communication systems. I'm very, very familiar with political systems, with justice systems, with medical systems, economic systems. You name the system, I've been involved in it, and I've studied it, and I found out where the flaws were. So I think I bring a unique perspective to the project, but I also know I don't have all of the answers. But I also know that all of the answers come from everybody, and everybody needs to have a way of processing that information and solving every problem. And it is possible. I've researched it. I found the tools that make it all possible, but it all needs to come together. So that's my perspective. I'm not saying I know all of the answers. What I do know is all of the answers are going to be found from everybody, and we need to set up some avenue to make that connection. And it is possible. This project should have a time frame. You need to understand what time is. Time is the push that makes anything happen. I'm going to make another video on what time actually is. But if you study what time actually is, you'll see that this project will unfold a lot faster with a time frame, and they got no time frame. It's kind of like world peace. How many people are starting these organizations? World peace. Nobody has a business plan. Nobody has, a timeline. When do you want to achieve this world peace? And if you can kind of see what's happening, these world peace organizations only are giving themselves a big paycheck out of wanting world peace and not actually creating world peace. Actually, if they actually solved world peace, how many of them would be out of a job? So there's not really a motivation for these world peace people to actually create world peace. Otherwise, they'd have a time frame, they'd have a business plan, they'd have, this is what the end result will look like. Things would be a little bit more organized. But nothing's organized. It's just out there, and people are making a lot of money off of a wish, want, and desire, and not actually having a drive to create it and unfold it. So, Venus project, complete waste of time. I will update it if I see them making any attempts to make any changes, but right now it's nothing different than a politician saying, this is what I want to do for you, this is what I want to do for you, vote for me. And they don't have the mindset to unfold it. If you get fooled into it, trust, they're admitting not all problems are able to be solved, and that's a limited belief. Every problem can be solved. We just have to have the wish, want, and desire to solve every problem. And that's a wild concept, but if you study as much as I've studied, you'd see how easy that is in fact a possibility. It's sort of the evolution of mankind. Once we can develop this belief system that it is possible, then we'd unfold it. But Right now, if we keep thinking can't please everybody all the time, then we'll never get it. We've never pleased everyone all the time in the past, but that doesn't mean it's our future. Peace out.